Suppose you have met an Indonesian girl online or at your workplace. Maybe you're working inside of Indonesia or you're working outside of Indonesia, maybe in the Middle East, or you work in Hong Kong or other places where you can find Indonesian overseas workers. And you like her, but you don't know if she likes you. How do you know whether this girl is into you or not? How do you know she also likes you? And this is the topic of today's video: signs and indicators an Indonesian girl might like you. Okay? And I mentioned this already. These signs or indicators I will talk about in this video, they apply to both scenarios, like meeting her online on a dating site, but also in the real world, when you date physically, when you meet her physically. But I think most of these indicators I give you today more apply to physical dating. But anyway, you have to start somewhere. And for those of you who have no opportunity to travel to Indonesia in the near future, so I think these tips will be still valuable for you. So, when is an Indonesian girl really into you? Before I answer these questions, let me share with you that it's again a very hot day, and we have some music here with us today because there's a company outing over there, but I have no influence over this. Anyway, not all Indonesian women will like you. I think that's a no-brainer, but I want to mention this again. I think we all can apply to any kind of women this 30-30-30 rule, right? Which says basically 30% of the girls or women, they don't like you at all. Then there's another 30% of women who are kind of neutral, and then there's another 30% of women who are into you, Still, that leaves us with a great chunk of women who might genuinely be interested in us. But anyway, let's talk about the signs and indicators. So for me, one of the biggest signs or indicators an Indonesian girl likes you is when she's texting you. And now these days texting is way bigger than like 10-20 years ago, because there are many more online apps available these days, right? But texting is still very important. It's even more important these days. So when an Indonesian girl is texting you out of her own accord, if she takes the initiative and texts very frequently, then you can bet that she is interested in you. Also, when she is sharing not only text messages but also pictures, pictures about her daily life. Like, for example, maybe she is in school or in university or at her workplace and she has lunch, and when she's sending pictures of her lunch, of her dish, or of her friends and colleagues and these kind of things, then you can assume she is interested in you, because she's sharing kind of private details, and she wouldn't do it if she wouldn't like you. There are even girls who are texting you from time to time only, but these are the women, like happened to me when I was not really interested in a particular woman, and I actually kind of also signaled that to her, but she keeps being persistent, or maybe she is denying reality or something like that. From time to time she would check, like for example, every 4 weeks I had a girl, I remember a girl I met, and she would text me like every 4 weeks just to say, hi, how are you? And then I would reply back, yeah, I'm fine, how are you? And then she would stop, Probably she just wanted to check on me, and maybe she thought or hoped that she could keep this connection going somehow. But there was no further texting. This is also something I noticed in Indonesia. Some girls are doing this. But what I want to say is, You don't need to run after these women and text them all the time and bombard them with your text, you know, in the hope to initiate a response or to keep the conversation going. Yeah, you want to text her from time to time to kind of test the waters, but you know, if you text a lot and she's not texting back, that's an indication that she's not interested in you. And by the way, yes, some of you might now say, Marcel, these tips and rules, you know, they don't only apply to Indonesian women, they are basically the general rules who might apply all over the world. And yeah, you are right, but you know, again, these videos are about Indonesian women, you know, and guys are asking me, Marcel, tell me, I want to know what are the signs that an Indonesian woman is into me. I want to know, I want to learn. So that's why I'm doing these videos, and there are some specifics maybe with Indonesian women, you know. So just for your information. The second sign she is into you is that she asks questions about your life, you know. It can be either when you have a video chat or via text, you know, or even when you date physically, when you meet physically, like let's say in a coffee shop. So she will ask questions like about your life, about your condition, how are you, have you eaten, what are you doing now, and these kind of things, you know. Especially when she asks, have you eaten your lunch already or something like that, that really is a great indicator, because this is something we don't have in the Western world, you know. But in Indonesia and also in the Philippines, this is very strong. If a girl asks you if you have eaten already, or she will tell you, don't forget to eat, don't skip your lunch, don't skip your breakfast, make sure you eat your rice, then that means she really cares for you, because also in Indonesia food is very important, and the Indonesian people love food. It's all about food in Indonesia. So a woman by nature in Indonesia wants to make sure that you have eaten, yeah, because eating is important. You need to live, and she wants to make sure if you are fine. So if she asks you, have you eaten, that's a great indicator for you that she really cares for you. Indicator number 3, when she makes time for you to talk and to spend her time with you. I mean, I think that is also very important. Women who are not interested in you, they just find all kinds of excuses, you know. And in Indonesia, it is like, if a girl is not interested in you, she will not tell you straight into your face, because she don't want to offend you or hurt you. Indonesian culture is it's deconfrontational, yeah? It's non-aggressive, and it's all about face saving. So if a girl is really not interested in you, she will simply not text back, or she will just come up with some excuses why she has no time to meet you on this and that, you know. Maybe, yeah, there is an occasion where she really has no time because she has some work to do or some extra obligations at work. That can happen. She will let you know. But if this happens like 2-3 times in a row, then you can assume this girl is really not interested, okay? This is how the girls are fixing this issue in Indonesia. Sign number 4. That's very interesting. If you want to know if an Indonesian girl is into you, when she is looking at you or even staring at you. So there can be several occasions when this can happen, like you walking down the road, down the street, you know, either in a big city or in a smaller city. Yeah, you will, if you walk around with open eyes, you will encounter probably many ladies, young girls, teenagers, I don't know, young women, older women, actually more the younger women, who might look at you or stare at you. Yeah, this can be just out of pure curiosity, but also it can be a sign that they simply like you. You know, so walking down the road is one thing, but for example, I remember when I was working in Indonesia, you know, and I was new, you know, my boss introduced me to all the stuff. And then during the first few days and weeks, I noticed girls looking at me more than other girls, or even staring at me. That was a clear sign, or that is a clear sign that this girl is interested in you, she likes you, but of course she is too shy to approach you, you know. So this was not just a one-time encounter on the street, but if you see this girl, your colleague, in that case she was a waitress, if you see her every single day and you work with her and she always looks at you and stares at you somehow in a very shy manner, then you can assume she likes you, okay? And that's a good hint for you to take further action, to start the approach, to initiate a conversation and things like that. Because Indonesian women, they are too shy to do that, especially when they are younger, you know. But also, of course, smiling, right? If she smiles at you, that's also a good indication. It's always a good indication, you know. If you can sense this extra smile, you know, this smile which comes from the heart, this honest smiling, then this is a good sign that she's into you. Sign number 5, if she is laughing at your jokes, I think this is common with many women, but especially in Indonesia. Indonesian people are actually very funny people. They like to laugh a lot. It's just in their culture. You will notice this when you travel to Indonesia. And also when you hang out with Indonesian people a lot, they like to joke. For us Westerners, or for me, especially in the beginning, it was kind of silly, you know. I was like, oh my God, like they crack up about so silly stuff. This is like kindergarten level for me. That's what I thought in the beginning. But you know, this is just their culture. Yeah, they can crack up about the silliest things, you know, but at the end of the day, it shows how these people are. They are, you know, we Germans, you know, I'm from Germany, we have our image, right? Grumpy, cold, stiff, always in a bad mood, strict and this and that, you know. And then you come to Indonesia and you find completely different people. But it's good actually, you know. They take things more lightly, you know, they can laugh about certain situations. It's actually a great strategy to cope with misery and hard times, right? So, and if she is laughing about any kind of jokes you make, you can be sure she really likes you, because she wants to make you feel comfortable, yeah. And this is a sign that she don't wants to offend you also, okay? So that's sign number 5. Indication number 6, that's big, you know, and this applies actually if you are dating physically either inside Indonesia, or you're dating physically, you're dating face to face, person to person. When you're walking down the road or the street and she is suddenly holding your arm, that's very big. If she's doing that, then you can be 100% sure that she likes you. And I think she likes you a lot, because she would not do this if she don't like you. Also at the same time, she is like marking her territory to other women around, because this is happening in public, you know. So she is kind of happy and proud, and she wants to demonstrate to her environment, and hey, see, this guy is with me, or I belong to him, kind of that kind of thing. Even maybe you're not a couple yet, but you know, it's a lot about pretension, also an image, you know. And Indonesian women actually, they're happy to date foreigners or to meet foreigners, and then they want to show it, you know. It's kind of a status symbol thing also a little bit, you know, like a little bit of prestige plays a role. But for example, let's say you were walking down the road, she's holding your arm, and later you jump into a taxi, driving back to, I don't know, you're driving her back home, and she starts to lean on you, then that's for sure that she really, really likes you. And or even if she starts to hold your hand, I mean, then you know for sure then that she is into you. And now some of you might say, yeah, but what are you telling me? You know, the Western women do the same thing, you know, when they start to initiate these kind of things. Yeah, but you know, you have to understand, Indonesia is not Europe or America. The Indonesian culture is way more conservative. The women are not so open and so outgoing and so full of temperament and just start to talk to guys or even strangers. They don't even do this with their own Indonesian man, and you are a foreigner. It's even worse, you know. Indonesian women would never just approach you like that, initiate a fun, easy, relaxed conversation. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? What's cracking? Where you from? And this and that. No, it's not going to happen, you know. So you have to really clearly improve your judgment and discernment when dealing with these women, and you have to learn about body language and this and that, you know. And body language in Indonesia is different than in America or Europe, you know. What I actually want to say is also, and I might have to do will do another video in the coming weeks about this, when do you actually know when to take action and what to do and how to escalate, you know, escalating in the sense of you are pretty sure she likes you and you can feel and sense that now, but she is too shy to escalate. What do you do and when do we do it, you know? Because this can be tricky also, because these girls are just way too shy and passive. And on the other side, you also don't want to make a mistake, you know? You don't want to come across as too pushy, right? And you are maybe afraid of her rejection, you know. So it's a very delicate thing in Indonesia. But the things I just mentioned to you, if she's holding your arm, if she's leaning on you, and these kinds are very good signs for you then to kind of escalate a little bit, you know. Because this is me, I'm more the shy guy, the reserved guy, you know. I also don't want to come across as too pushy with these girls, you know. I take it slow, and I can tell you, I take it very slow, and I rather have these women escalate, because then I can be really on the safe side that she is into me. But I can explain this in a different video, what to look for and how to do it properly, you know. Because this macho man thing like, hey baby, you're so cute, I like you, can you have your number? And then trying to grab, hug or kiss her, this nonsense doesn't work in Indonesia. It's not gonna work. Yeah, Indonesian women are also not after looks so much, you know, after your great body and that kind of stuff. They are more for personality and character and gentleness also, okay? So continuing here on the list, sign number 7, if she is introducing you to her friends, that's a good sign that she's into you, because, you know, she wouldn't do it if she wouldn't like you. Most her friends are her friends. It's an intimate circle already. And if she introduces you to her friends, that means you are allowed to enter her circle of trust. And she wouldn't do it if she wouldn't trust you and like you. So that's a good sign if she starts introducing you to her friends or even colleagues, you know. And later maybe to her family. In the beginning, no, the family is not going to be involved like in other Southeast Asian countries. But in Indonesia it takes a little bit longer. So she will not just introduce you to her family right away. Yeah, so this is not my experience. But eventually later, yeah, they will do it. The next sign, number 8, is when she is nervous around you. So, yeah, when you observe her body language and you can see she's kind of nervous, you know. Especially if you know her from different situations. For example, I remember when I worked in Indonesia, I worked in a hotel, you know, and there was this waitress, and she was behaving normally, you know, with her colleagues, with her friends, talking just normally, behaving normally. In the staff canteen, for example, she was sitting at her table with her colleagues and friends. Yeah, but when she was alone and I talked to her, she was completely different. She was shy, she was nervous, you know, and so she was fiddling with her hair and don't know what to say. Suddenly her English was not so good anymore, so she lost confidence and stuff like that. So this is also a good sign she might be into you, you know. But on the other side, the next indication she is into you also is actually when she is comfortable talking to you. Yeah, so that might seem a little bit paradoxical here, because I just said, okay, when she's nervous, it's a sign she's into you, but also when she's comfortable, she's kind of into you. Yeah, it's actually not a paradox, it seems to be, but being comfortable talking to you, I mean, is when she really, really deep inside is really comfortable talking to you because she likes you and the chemistry is just right, you know, these kind of things. And yeah, she might be on the surface a little bit nervous, but deep down she is actually comfortable, you know. So, but this nervousness will go away as soon you guys have had a few interactions already, conversations already, and then this nervousness should go away. This is only in the beginning if you haven't really had any contact yet, physical contact, talking to each other. This applies especially face-to-face dating, not online here. But if this nervousness has vanished at one point, then she will continue, of course, being into you and talking to you because she is comfortable with doing this. And the last sign an Indonesian girl is into you is when she is clingy, especially when you have kind of already rejected her or maybe signaled to her that you're not interested, she's not your type, but she continue texting you, or you declined a meeting with her or a second one and she still keep coming back, you know, or even after an argument. So if she keeps coming back, texting you and this and that, then you know she is into you. And maybe this is a strategy. You can use this also as a tactic. It's a tactical move you can do. You can pretend to be not interested in her, and then you can figure out how she is responding to you. Yeah, but it's tricky also because most of the girls, if you reject or if you decline a meeting or if you don't show off many signals, they take it personally and they think, the guy don't likes me, you know, so they stop putting any effort into it. Some girls are very shy, they take it so personally. They say, oh, the guy, he rejected me once, he don't like me and I give it up now and I will not text him anymore. You know, so it's a little bit tricky, but you actually can also try to use it and in order to figure out if this girl is into you. Because if she keeps coming back to you, after you rejected her once or twice, then you can be 100% sure she is into you, she's interested in you, and then you can just start to take further action. So I think this is a good solid list for you here, a good indication for you how to discern whether or not an Indonesian girl / a woman is interested in you. Yes, many of these signs and indications also apply to other women around the globe, absolutely. I think many of these indications here especially apply to other Southeast Asian women because these cultures are very, very similar. But this is based on my experience here with dating Indonesian women. It's kind of interesting. And remember, these women are very passive. They are very shy. And it's a deconfrontational, a non-confrontational culture. Yeah. So this is the basis, and based on that, the woman will display their behavior. So with that being said, I'm checking out for today. And of course, before I forget, these are general indications and signs. I mean, every woman is a little bit different. There might be more extroverted women, more bubbly women, like my girlfriend. She is very bubbly, she is very outgoing, she is very extroverted. So some of these signs don't apply to her, but she is not in the majority. The majority of Indonesian women is as I described in this video here, and I described in many of my other videos. So with that being said, finally I'm checking out for today. Looking forward to your comments. What is your experience? Or are there more signs? Are there more indications? How do you know if an Indonesian girl is into you? How do you know that? And what do you do about this? Let me know, let us know. And then I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Take care, bye bye.